Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Black Ops Character Analysis. It's been a few weeks. We just had to, I was just taking a little bit of a break from character analysis, but we're back along with a lot of other things. But we are back here, and today we're just going to be pretty much kind of wrapping up zombies characters. Well, not necessarily wrapping up, but we're pretty much down to the wire in terms of like Black Ops character analysis and all that stuff. We only have a few characters left. And one of the Black Ops Zombies characters that we're going to be doing today is Marlton Johnson, which he's not necessarily my most favorite character out of the bunch, but I mean he is very okay. So here's the thing, he is very important in terms of the story, in my opinion, and of course we're going to be getting into why momentarily. So I'm getting all this info from the COD Wiki, as always, great site. So Marlton Johnson is a playable character in Call of Duty Black Ops 2 Zombies mode. He appears as a playable character in the maps Transit, Die Rise, and Buried. When he joins forces with the rest of the Victus crew, his voice can also be heard in Nuketown Zombies. Marlton with the Victus crew takes a central part in the Zombies comics. He can be seen in Call of Duty Black Ops 4 in the map Blood of the Dead, and a cryptopod added to Blackout as well. He is a playable character along with the rest of the Victus and Togger Toten, and we're of course only going to be talking about his role in the Black Ops 2 game. So before the destruction of Earth, Marlton was in a nuclear testing site in Nevada, hiding out in the nuclear bunker after a recent nuclear explosion. Meanwhile, a group of CIA and CDC operatives entered the area due to a distress signal, and are met with soldiers and nuclear scientists that have been reanimated by Element 115 from the nearby Nevada base. During one of the ensuing fight, 3 missiles launched from the moon to impact Earth, one of them hitting the testing site. Marlton then escapes the area as the only survivor. At some point after the destruction of Earth, Marlton met Abigail and Misty Briarton, which we talked about in the last character analysis, and the two began to fight the zombies in the town of Hanford until they were picked up by Russman and Samuel J. Stuhlinger. In a bus, the 4 survivors were then contacted by Dr. Ludwig Maxis and were instructed to activate the pylon as part of his plan to deal with Edward Richtofen's forces of the undead. However, Stuhlinger started to hear Richtofen's voice in his head telling him to activate the tower with his own methods for unknown purposes. After the device was activated, the group was teleported by Richthofen to a skyscraper in Shanghai, China. After witnessing Russman being killed by a jumping jack, Misty, Marlton, and Stuhlinger continued to defend themselves until they were killed as well. However, Richthofen would then rewind the events so that the group can carry out his tasks. Here, Maxis and Richthofen continued to give the 4 survivors instructions to activate another tower. After the task was done, the group traveled on foot towards Africa. They set up camp in the desert, planning on what to do next. The day after, the survivors proceeded to the rift and ended up in an underground western town here, or Buried. Maxis and Richthofen continued to give them the survivors instructions to activate the 3rd tower, and warn them of the others' plans. In the end, their allegiance shapes what happens to them next. Canonically, I'm sorry, I don't know how to say that, but pretty much, it being canon, they complete Maxis' endgame. However, Marlton, as well as the other survivors, survive and return to the Call of Duty Zombies comic on a new mission to require chronorium. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say these words. This would lead to them being cryogenically frozen in Richthofen's lab underneath Alcatraz, as Primus Richthofen intended to collect their blood for his, quote, insurance policy. Now, we're going to talk about the canon ending and the non-canon ending. So first, this is the canon ending. If the player decides to follow Maxis' side for all 3 of the Easter eggs, Maxis will assume control of the zombies, giving them orange eyes in the process, and will send Richtofen's soul into a single zombie which will only have blue eyes. However, Maxis then reveals his true intentions of destroying the Earth to reach Agarthia. He, along with the rest of Victus, will be awakened beneath Alcatraz by Ultimus, now undead. Richthofen then sent to Siberia, where Victus would be tasked with constructing the Argathian device. After the device was completed and sent to Nikolai Belinsky, it was used to banish the multiverse to the Dark Ether, along with Victus. Now, this is the non-canon ending. If the player decides to follow Richthofen's side of all 3 Easter eggs, Richthofen enters Samuel's body and uses him as a physical host on Earth. With his eyes now flickering blue, Maxis, meanwhile, is banished by Richthofen from the symptoms of Grifton Station for good. His corpse is seen on Round Infinity, indicating that he was killed by zombies. He, along with the rest of Victus, would be awakened beneath Alcatraz by Ultimus, now undead, Richthofen sent to Siberia, where Victus would be tasked with constructing the Argathian device. After the device was completed and sent to Nikolai Belinsky, it was used to banish the multiverse to the Dark Ether along with Victus. I believe that was the non-canon ending that I just said. I just want to make sure. And then that's pretty much it for the article here. That's just the non-canonical and the canon ending. And here's something we don't really get into is the appearance of the characters. I'm just going to say it for Marlton specifically. So, his appearance is of a stereotypical nerd in his 20s. He wears a white collared shirt, blue jeans, glasses which are shown to have been repaired with cloth tape in the buried cutscene, and nice brown shoes accessorized with a pocket protector and a wrist calculator. He is covered in soot and has few tears in his pants. He also wears a loose tie. Marlton favors using a larger, advanced vocabulary and thinks of himself as mentally superior to the others. He's also often pedantic and smug, often quite self-conscious. Marlton is very knowledgeable about weapons, often reeling off facts and critiques of the guns he acquires from the mystery box, though he seems to have a dislike of most of them. Marlton suffers from claustrophobia, which is a fear of having no escape and being closed in small spaces or rooms, as well as mysophobia and germophobia, which is the fear of contamination and germs, respectively. Marlton likes Misty, however, he dislikes Samu and despises Russman even more, which is reciprocated by him. However, his hatred for Russman only goes so far as he is above refusing help from him when he is downed or swarmed, and he is even willing to help Russman remember his past when he loses his memory, as the buried cutscene shows. Now, he has strong emotional attachment to Misty and often compliments her. Misty has a crush on Marlton, and he reciprocates those feelings despite claiming he feels no emotion, and explains that he has a special relationship with her. And that's pretty much all that I had to say. I was just getting a little bit further into the article. It just was saying his appearance and a little bit of his personality. I just figured, I don't get into that with all the characters. It's not included in every article, but I figured in this article I'll go ahead and mention it. It was worth mentioning, but that's pretty much it for Marlton's character analysis. I know these last few character analysis were, a little bit shorter of the videos, but the articles are short anyway, so pretty much it. Like I said, we're winding down this Black Ops character analysis, and we're going to be moving on to new games and greener pastures ahead. But that's pretty much it for today's video, so make sure to subscribe for more content, like the video, all good stuff, Discord, Twitch, Instagram, links in the description. Comment down below what you guys think of Marlton. He's definitely not my favorite character, but he's certainly not like my all-time favorite character. He's just kind of in the middle for me. He's neutral, but comment down below what you guys think of Marlton as a character. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video.